What's going on up there that you don't want me to see?
Oh, nothing. Just another episode of the Top 10 Favorite, and from what I believe are the best performances by some of the greatest actresses in all of film.
I'd like a very dry martini. Italian vermouth, Spanish gin, and a Greek olive.
Well, I don't think we have any.
Oh, don't bother. I'll fix it myself.
Yes, while you have your martini, I'll start from 10 and then perform magic spells all the way up to number 1. And Rosebuds, always remember, I have seen every film attainable of every artist. Keyword, attainable. So every list here comes from magical, majestic, and manic accuracy.
I said that I could teach you a few things.
Oh, stop the bad dialogue.
Calling all actors, I sure hope you are ready to talk about one of the greatest actresses of all time, folks.
Oh, so you're finally showing the right side of your face, ain't you?
I know we say that often here, hell, in every episode, but this time, whether you know it or not, this actress is an artist that, honest to God, gives the greatest value and beyond to the coined phrase of character actress. Madame Mauve, the Lavender Lady herself, Agnes Moorehead. Now, Agnes Robertson Moorehead was born in Clinton, Massachusetts, near Boston, in 1900, but at times has said she was born in 1906 to get younger roles. That's a real actor for you. The eldest daughter of a clergyman who moved the family to the great metropolis that is St. Louis, Missouri, where she continued her studies and devotion to God. But along those lines, her mother always encouraged her in her wild imagination, her love of mimicry, how she would mimic the lot of her father's parishioners. That fun fascination grew into studying more music, joining the chorus of the St. Louis Municipal Opera Company, also called the Muni. But her father always encouraged her to find real work, get a real job. So she majored in biology at Muskingum College and later received an honorary doctorate from there. The acting bug would never go away, though, even when she earned her master's in English and public speaking at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So with the hand of God by her side, she pursued the great ADA, American Academy of Dramatic Arts, where her training really flourished, not to mention venturing off to do radio, where that became the greater training, developing characters within voice work. After meeting the legend Helen Hayes, she was convinced to pursue film, only to be let down so many times for not being, quote-unquote, the right type. The theater and radio were the great upbringing that she needed on this challenging journey into the popular sound era of cinema. However, in 1937, something life-changing happened. She joined and founded the Mercury Theater, owned by the genius Orson Welles, where they did many plays on and off Broadway and simultaneously on radio, playing such classic characters like Margot Lane in The Shadow, The March of Time, Campbell Playhouse, and so much more. But most importantly, on Suspense, one of the most popular radio dramas ever, being represented as the First Lady of Suspense on the program, originating the role of Leona in Lucille Fletcher's Sorry Wrong Number, which Orson called the greatest radio drama ever written. How Agnes just sucks you in and just pulls you in with her one-woman show, basically. It's unbelievable work. Not to mention all the great Mercury Theater productions like the National State of Emergency broadcast that was The War of the Worlds, my God. Agnes was in high demand of radio, and sooner or later, that popularity will reach the TV audience and then the beloved film audience. Classic film lovers, you know for certain that Agnes Moorehead has inspired so many actresses today who may not inhabit the leading female star qualities as, say, Ava Gardner, Jean Tierney, Marilyn Monroe, etc. She had the real qualities of a damn great actress. You gave Agnes Moorehead anything, she could play it. She could disappear in any role, from looking like the most beautiful countess to the poor, lowest class citizen on the streets. The first time I ever saw Agnes Moorehead act, folks, my mom showed me, among thousands of other things, The Twilight Zone. You know it. The episode entitled The Invaders. That was the first time I saw her just blow my mind in what you could do as a character for television with zero dialogue. The whole screenplay and episode relying on the blocking and body language, Agnes's eyes throughout the terrifying invasion of those little aliens, quote unquote.
Incredible race of giants here. Race of giants.
That episode still sticks with audiences today, even all the way back when it first premiered in 1961. Why she wasn't nominated for an Emmy for that episode, I will never understand. It was after this episode as a kid that I knew this actor was someone extremely special and brilliant, and it only carried on in what is obviously the most well-known piece of work in all of Agnes Moorehead's whole career. That being everyone's favorite overbearing witchy mother, Endora, on Bewitched.
I brought you something.
Dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, Agnes earned 6 Emmy nominations for Best Supporting Actress for her work here, which is clear to see why. Mauve Madam herself just owns this role. It was tailor-made for a legend of the theater and radio to grab a hold and make it their sizzling best. Funny enough, Agnes only really got the role because of bumping into Elizabeth Montgomery at a department store one day, because she didn't want to do it. Well, with the crazy work schedule on TV, wildly different for theater. However, at the end of the day, audiences around the world have always known her as Endora. And that was no end with TV for Agnes, having won the Emmy for Best Supporting Actress as Emma Valentine on The Wild Wild West, the vicious, murdering matchmaker. It's a fantastically devilish performance that I love to death, and so did the world. You know, Agnes Moorehead was an actress that stood out. The world loves an actress who can be real, authentic, genuine, which, like Shakespeare, holds the mirror up to society. And that's what makes her a powerhouse actress. So yes, grab another martini, fan yourself, cause it's hot. We're talking about the definition of the GOAT, the greatest of all time, in radio, TV, and cinema, who could do anything. Agnes Moorehead. Now, starting off at number 10, we have The Singing Nun. We certainly can't start a top 10 on Agnes without a villainous role, can we? Even if she's a nun who has such uncertainty and growing disdain for Sister Anne, the titled singing nun, played beautifully by Debbie Reynolds. What, with playing her guitar, singing hip tunes, and cutting a record? What's going on here? However, I love her arc as the character, Sister Clooney, whom you can just honestly see how well she's listening. And that's of course the brilliance of Agnes. Always on, always listening, always present for all the action. I love how she can effortlessly blend into an ensemble, yet your eyes can always revert back to her because what she's continuously doing. In a happy true story inspired film like this, how joyous to see Agnes give the grit of some kind.
This brand new one doesn't seem to have any special skills except playing that guitar.
Number 9, The Revolt of Mammy Stover.
Hold still, please. Get used to being inspected. If you work for me, people will be paying good hard cash to look you over.
Oh, Agnes, as Madam of the House, Bertha, in Hawaii, is all worth it in this box office hit picture. Based on the novel, of course, we actually get Jane Russell on the run from her Lady of the Night past to make a new way for herself, but not without a little romance with Richard Egan. Once she docks in Honolulu, she immediately gets connected with Bertha Parchment, Agnes, who takes control of her life, as well as all the other girls in the nightclub. Now, the film itself is so watered down, it's a bit annoying, but absolutely entertaining enough because Agnes shows up, giving it gusto as the evil Madam Pimp, so to speak. She's so cold and calculated, and yet you see there was an understanding heart there. But is it already corrupted? The scenes between she and Jane Russell actually work better because when anyone is acting opposite Agnes, you can walk a fine line of sinking or swimming. And because Agnes was so brilliant and gave so much to her scene partners, you can always believe and count they will swim and come off better. With the exception of Kim Novak and Gene Eagles. Good Lord. Agnes tried, but Bertha is a valuable character in Agnes's filmography, retaining its importance, being one of the most popular films when it came out in 1956.
40%, Mamie. The biggest cut in the place.
Make it 50.
Okay, 50. But that's confidential, just between us.
Number 8, Caged.
I want you to know that we're all here to help you. I want you to believe that I'd like to be your friend, if you'll let me.
Agnes playing the nice guy warden in this film? The film of all women's prison films? Absolutely. A role that was originally meant for Patricia Neal, but turned it down, only left a beautiful door wide open for Agnes to take on such a sympathetic role of doing her best of helping the women prisoners through a crazed, corrupt penal system.
You weren't sent here to be punished. Just being here is the punishment, that's all.
One in particular, a 19-year-old pregnant Marie, played amazingly by Eleanor Parker in her first Oscar-nominated performance. Of course, all of us classic film fanatics talk how Eleanor and other Oscar nominee Hope Emerson, oh God, she's ferocious, really walk away with this picture.
You're a liar.
We must never forget Agnes as the warden, with that great change of pace that Agnes absolutely deserved to have in her career.
The first time you tried to escape, I gave you the benefit of the doubt. This time you have to be disciplined. I'm going to put you in solitary for 3 days.
She adds all the moments of hope where you, the audience, feel there is none left. Even when, spoiler, the ending comes with Marie walking out and Agnes has that heart-sinking last line about Marie's criminal file.
Keep it active. She'll be back.
Diabolically amazing. Number 7,
At which time
Citizen Kane.
he is to come into complete possession.
Charles! Go on, Mr. Thatcher.
Well, it's almost 5, Mrs. Kane. Don't you think I'd better meet the boy?
I've got his trunk all packed. I've had it packed for a week now.
I know what most of you might think. Alex, why? Agnes is only in this iconic classic film that's featured on every single critic's list of the greatest films of all time, if not the greatest film of all time, for only 4 minutes tops. And yes, friends, that's how you know a performance is that captivating. When you capture the audience like a dark and snowy spell with a limitation of screen time. And it's obvious how limited her screen time in film, period, has been all throughout her whole career. So seeing her completely gothic here is so fitting and delicious. Makes her almost typecast in this kind of role of a quote-unquote loving mother of William Foster Kane, a young boy in Colorado whom she sends off with Thatcher to raise him and develop a trust fund after gold was struck in a mining deed owned by Mary Kane, Agnes. What's so amazing to know is how Agnes, one of the great genius character queens of theater, made her film debut here, thanks to her fellow collaborator and friend, Orson Welles, presenting his whole Mercury Theater troupe here, including Joseph Cotten and Everett Sloane. This was so huge because, as Agnes put it herself, Hollywood was not all about rehearsal. So we have this 25-year-old theater and radio auteur with this excessive amount of money, bringing in a cast of stage actors to carry this film, including Agnes, on top of the fact that Orson was not trained for directing for the camera. However, Agnes said they all learned together, and it became a sincere theater project again for the screen. And being an ensemble, everybody has to pull their weight. And you know who consistently did that? Agnes, carrying that one scene in the boarding house, amazingly in that one full tracking shot. Props will always go to DP Greg Toland, who helped Orson for all of this, and Orson himself. But when it comes to a haunting portrayal of a mother who has sold her son, you see the deadening eyes when she's right there by that window. How she has moved so past the fact that her son will be leaving, never to be seen again by his mother. It's devastating. This little film was nominated for 9 Oscars, winning only 1 for its screenplay, and it became a colossal hit over time, but it surely put Agnes in front of the thousands of eyes of Hollywood. Number 6, Dark Passage.
I've cried myself to sleep at night because of you. She's got you now.
Hot damn, how I wish Agnes's performance here was much, much higher, because Agnes as Madge Rapf, the former mistress turned traitor of Humphrey Bogart, Vincent Perry, is astoundingly brilliant. It's a gift to find Agnes in a film noir of this fun caliber, especially a Bogey and Bacall film noir that I really enjoy. Adapted and directed by Delmer Daves, the film noir is very offbeat, no question. I mean, when you got Agnes Moorehead in here, the platform and genre itself is elevated. In a film where you think the scene stealer is either the beautiful sights on location in San Francisco or Bogey's hairpiece, Agnes Moorehead gets her moment to shine and just crush the holy hell out of her climactic scenes with Bogey. As a fan of film noir, it saddens me that Agnes didn't get to do many more film noirs of this nature.
She wants you very badly, doesn't she? She's willing to run away with you and keep on running and ruin everything for herself. But she wouldn't care because she'd be with you, and that's what she wants. For she doesn't have you now, and she'll never have you, and nobody will ever have you, and that's the way I want it. You're nothing but an escaped convict. Nobody knows what you wrote down. They'll believe me. They'll believe me.
Number 5, Pollyanna.
I'm not at all pretty.
Oh, but you are. And you don't look sick at all.
The first film I remember seeing and really noticing and locking in who Agnes Moorehead was, folks. Of course, as a kid, I was already aware of her in The Twilight Zone and Bewitched, but this was that first film performance of her where I was immediately struck with how this character operates. My goodness, Mrs. Snow, the super nasty hypochondriac who just is so ruthless. And you hope a certain little girl will warm her spirits, cheer her up from the inside out, like the dear Pollyanna, played exquisitely and sensationally by Hayley Mills, who received the last juvenile Oscar for her performance here, back when child actors received a separate Oscar for their specific work.
What is everybody sniffing about? My goodness, a bunch of ninnies think a person couldn't get well.
I love and adore all the scenes between Hayley and Agnes, for you'd think a partnership of Agnes with the child would be a perfect combo. Disney and Agnes is most certainly a perfect combo, where there are a great amount of scenes of over-the-top intensity and well-earned heart at the end that I won't spoil.
Hi, Mrs. Snow. Oh, bless you. Bless you, darling. I'll see you soon. Thank you for coming. Oh, all right. Bye. Goodbye.
Number 4, Mrs. Parkington.
What is more impressive than a beautiful woman, huh? Now, what do you want Gus to do? Spend fortunes on other women?
Agnes is so beautiful in this role, a role that wasn't guaranteed for her at all, a role she had to fight for at MGM, considering all the roles Agnes was known for and so good at playing. How on earth could she bring to life an enchanting Baroness, Aspasia, who is a dear and intimate friend of Major Augustus Parkington, a very wealthy businessman, played well by Walter Pidgeon? How can she then help the beautiful and young Susie, played lovingly by Greer Garson, to become a wealthy woman herself by just dressing and living the part? Because Agnes Moorehead damn well could.
This is the real me, Baroness Aspasie Conti, without war paint.
Apparently when the studio used every excuse to make Agnes doubt herself by saying, well, the character is beautiful, Agnes. She's French and supposed to have a thick French accent. Agnes said, yes, and because it's true, Agnes could do anything if you gave them the opportunity. And her accent work here is truly fantastic. When you watch her here, you would never guess that this was the same woman in the Twilight Zone episode. The amazing polar opposite of those performances alone is just what's astounding about Agnes, with her voice and movement work on display at all times. She received her second Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress here and won the Golden Globe, which, the more this film gets revisited, it confirms the ultimate truth in how sincerely versatile Agnes was in any kind of role.
It made tears come.
Not in my eyes, that would spoil my makeup, but in my heart.
Number 3, Hush, Hush, Sweet Charlotte.
What's going on up there that you don't want me to see?
You can't pull anything past Velma, the deep, deep Southern housekeeper, played by Agnes in her 4th and final Academy Award nominated performance for Best Supporting Actress.
Cousin Miriam ain't never had but one idea in her head, and that was looking out for herself.
Directed by Robert Aldrich, coming off of Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
Written a letter to Daddy.
That's right. We get the camp horror all over again in pure and haunting effect. Also, with the crazed Bette Davis.
You're a vile, sorry little bitch!
But sorry, it's true. I mean, when you're suspected of murdering the man you love who's married to another, you're bound to go a little off the deep end there. And then your inherited estate being taken away? Oh, hell no. That's why Agnes gives Velma that great weight of care and charity with a high dollop of white trash. A lot of Agnes's big scenes are with Olivia de Havilland as Miriam, Charlotte's cousin. And when you see even these Hollywood acting legends together, bring out the popcorn and give him a hand. Well, not John's hand there. Too soon? Anyway, what has been often called as Whatever Happened to Sweet Charlotte definitely plays the greatest hits of Aldrich's former. And you can imagine what it would be like with Miss Crawford if she was still in de Havilland's role. Personally, I enjoy the hell out of this film, sometimes more than Baby Jane. And maybe because of how amazing Agnes is. Just looking at her body language from top to bottom is a masterclass in acting. It's mesmerizing.
Oh, incidentally, please tell me when they arrive.
All of that theater training broken out under the wet-hot sun of Louisiana. Agnes was no question also winning the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress, and it's important to realize how Agnes was the only actor to be really recognized with accolades for her performance in this film. Is that a scene stealer? You bet your sweet patootie.
That's some kind of drug that you've been giving her. You've been making her act the way she's been. Well, I'm going into town, and I'm going to tell them what you've been up to.
Number 2, Johnny Belinda.
Belinda's a healthy girl.
She's not. Now you leave her to me and to the doctor.
What do you make a mystery of her for? She's my daughter. I've a right to know if there's anything serious.
Belinda's going to have a child.
My friends, Agnes's performance as Aunt Aggie is a tremendous force of nature, which earned Agnes her 3rd Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. The aunt of Belinda McDonald, who is mute and deaf, played with sensitive and integral love by Jane Wyman. Because of the love and care of Dr. Robert, played exquisitely by Lou Ayres, she learns sign language and brings the truth out to her aunt and uncle that she is intelligent and meant for so much more, even when she was discarded that she couldn't.
This is the sun coming up over the horizon. This is noon, with the sun directly overhead, afternoon, evening, and night, when the sun has disappeared completely. Good morning. Good night. What is it? It's a butterfly, sure.
'Tis a butterfly. It flutters. I got something.
What?
Look sharp now. Think fast. What does this mean?
Means you've gone loony.
It's a butterfly. Look.
Don't go waving your hands at me. I'm not the dummy. And if you want to have any bread to eat while I'm gone, leave me be.
Yes, Jane Wyman's Oscar-winning performance is what so many people remember. But if you're like me, I always find the support that feeds into the lead performances. Like Agnes, taking the time with Jane, how visible she is in their scenes, how much she gives to Belinda, as much as she battles with her own truth. And then once the horrible rape scene occurs, how Agnes copes with that is astonishing to watch. Agnes brings out such life in a story that I hold so close to my heart. With a full cast, of heavy hitters, Agnes Moorehead delivers the heart that we always talk about. Okay, folks, here are some honorable mentions for you. The Bat. Okay, I know, folks. I know. It's Dear Agnes's only film as a lead, next to Dear Dead Delilah, where she received top billing, but this one is more enjoyable. It's enjoyable schlock with Vincent Price trying to solve the cases of a resurrecting serial killer named The Bat. And she does absolutely the best she can with a god-awful script. But with the opportunity as a lead here, she has fun. And we have fun right along with her. Raintree County, the rare of some of those rare films, which of course was gearing up to be the next Gone with the Wind for crying out loud, being the most expensive film produced at this point, costing $5.4 million. But if you've seen the top 10s of Monty Clift and Liz Taylor, which you can find on my channel, you know it had some problems, one of which involving poor Monty. But Agnes is in such wild voice beautiful support here as Ellen Shaughnessy, Monty's mother, who believes in the goodness of her son, that he can do better, though she can spot bullshit from a mile away. I believe that. It's a grand southern piece of a performance that stands firm because of her honest character work. Main Street to Broadway, another rare film that's still attainable with Agnes playing a Broadway agent, trying to help out her clients the best she can, one of whom just happens to be Tallulah Bankhead. So honest to God, where else are you going to see Agnes Moorehead and Tallulah Bankhead, two theater legends, on screen together, acting opposite of each other? Nowhere but here. You have to see it.
Aren't they writing plays for nice people like me anymore? Tallulah, you couldn't have walked in here at a more ideal moment. It's fate, that's what it is. I have a play for you. Oh, you have.
Showboat, the 1951 adaptation of the classic musical, which was actually the most profitable adaptation and the second highest grossing film of 1951. Go figure. While it's not one of my favorite musicals personally, Agnes showboats herself. See what I did there? As Parthy Hawks, mother of Magnolia, played well by Katherine Grayson, and has no time for that show business. It's a supporting role that was tailor-made again for Agnes, and even includes some of Agnes's delightful vocals on big numbers that we never really get enough of. All That Heaven Allows. How this was so close in being in her top 10. Agnes's great best friend role of cradle robber Jane Wyman in one of the 4 films they did together, having fallen in love with her young gardener, Rock Hudson.
You can't be serious. Your gardener?
The second collaboration actually between the 3 main stars altogether, Wyman, Hudson, and Moorehead, after turning in another beautiful melodrama 1 year previously, Magnificent Obsession, also directed by Douglas Sirk. This is, to me, the better picture all around, and the better performance from Agnes in this. For every scene she has with Wyman, we completely understand the plight of her best friend with social normalities, fearing it would cause such a scare for Jane. And it's another true example in how sensitive Agnes could be in certain roles that we love seeing her in. We love seeing the fiery red hair just burning through this Technicolor, showing the utmost care and even showing every single pro just how it's done.
I apologize. At least I can do that much.
Oh, you don't have to apologize, Sarah. Just go on being my friend.
I'd be a fool not to do that.
Number 1, The Magnificent Ambersons.
I knew your mother'd want me to watch over you and try to make something like a home for you. And I tried. I tried to make things as nice for you as I could.
I know that.
Fight me to the death on this one, folks. Her earth-shattering performance as Fanny is one of the greatest in cinema, period, earning Agnes her first ever Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress, a performance I think was savagely robbed at the Academy Awards by Teresa Wright for Mrs. Miniver. Teresa was great, but it was not Agnes, taking your breath away in agonized pity for such a character. Based on the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by Booth Tarkington, Agnes plays Aunt Fanny, part of the wealthiest family in the Midwestern town, whom tries to keep afloat with everything falling apart around them once the patriarch dies. And the spoiled son, George, played wonderfully by Tim Holt, tarnishes everything because of his arrogance. It was first constructed as a radio drama by Mr. Orson Welles' Mercury Theatre back in 1939, and after the mildly disappointing box office success that was Citizen Kane, I say disappointing since it was a flop, it still gave power to Orson to do this passion project that he loved so much. It's clear to everyone that Agnes's grand opus, her grand operatic moment that sealed her Oscar nomination and, in my opinion, should have absolutely confirmed her win, for God's sakes, is the breakdown she has in the abandoned mansion with her back against that boiler. This is incredible filmmaking, knowing that Orson laid it out for Agnes for their first take in rehearsal. Not rolling yet, just rehearsal, to play it like a little girl, opposite of what Agnes was prepared to do. Then, on second take, Orson told her to play it like she's mad, like she's gone insane. And then he told Agnes to play it like she was drunk.
And again, he said, now I want you to play without absolutely, just an absolutely vacuous mind. And by the time I thought to myself, what in the world does he want? And after about the fifth time, I began to realize what he wanted. And I did it 11 times, different characterizations, 11 times.
Then Orson said, now just play it. They shot it, and our final product was a soup of it all. A little crazy, a little adolescent, a little inebriated. It had everything.
I wouldn't use 5 cents no matter how tired I was.
For the gosh sakes, will you get up? Don't sit there with your back against the boiler. Get up, Aunt Fanny.
It's not hot, it's cold. The plumber's disconnected. I wouldn't mind if they hadn't. I wouldn't mind if it burned. I wouldn't mind if it burned me, George.
Oh, Fanny, for gosh sakes, get up. Now stop it. Stop it. Listen to me.
And then that tracking shot. It's just a filmmaker's dream. Agnes said she couldn't sleep for a week after shooting that scene because she felt so exhilarated. She felt like Orson took care of her and nurtured the film actor that she was gearing up to be. And it's so tragic to know how tampered Orson's Magnificent Amberson's final cut was, and not knowing where 50 minutes of his footage went to, possibly destroyed forever. But even with that, this affected and, in Orson's mind, truncated final product. I love this film. So many audiences still love this film. The happy ending stinks, but it's still an amazing follow-up to Citizen Kane. But in my opinion, Orson Welles' first 2 films wouldn't be the grandiose masterpieces that they are without his ensemble. Specifically, you guessed it, Agnes.
She loved you. She loved you.
The ensemble team player she was, Agnes Moorehead, for that's the sign of a true actor. When you are completely part of a team that is always there to tell the story together. I thank God for actors like Agnes, as she thanked God every day of her life. It has often been said, even when she came to set, she would have a copy of her script in one hand and a copy of the Bible right underneath it. God, Agnes Moorehead, who gave so much to art, even starting a nice private school of 28 actors, just like an apprenticeship program based on the great foundation of the Mercury Players, having taught and directed school plays herself. It is such a damn saddening legend of how she passed from cancer after exposure to radioactive fallout from atomic bomb tests while filming the big and fancifully shitty film, The Conqueror, in Iron City, Utah. Among those other people on that film site were Susan Hayward, Dick Powell, and John Wayne himself, who all have died of the same illness. Still, her legacy has such lasting effect, with a scholarship started in her name at one of her alma maters. Her love life may not have been perfect, in fact, even being rumored for decades that she was a lesbian. Those rumors have never been confirmed, most likely a rumor started by Bewitched co-star Paul Lynn, but this is Hollywood. Agnes said so herself, that she loved to be part of the company of Garbo, Bankhead, and Dietrich, who've all ventured on the queer side, so we're not judging at all. Regardless, Agnes just brought the work. She loved to do it. She loved being the first female co-host of the Oscars in 1948. She loved working on truly great theater with the best of the best, like Orson. She loved storytelling and being a woman of God.
See here, Georgie Minifer. I suggest that you just march straight on into your room.
Cheers, darling. Now you know the spell. Tell me, do you agree with my picks? What are your favorite performances by this class act? Agnes Moorehead. Oh, you know you better share in those comments below. I always love hearing all your thoughts, my friends. If you like this, please click like, subscribe, and please check out the Patreon channel where you can vote on the polls of what you would like to see next. Thank you all so very much for watching and supporting again, and be sure to respect your mothers. Bye for now.